Hey everybody, it's your old pal Steve Moore that is, from RUNMOORE here in downtown Westminster, Maryland. Today we're going to be talking about some of the different fits that we're seeing right now with the new Hoka lineup. And it's probably the most asked question that we get here from people, either YouTube or over the phone or whatever. It's, I run in this, how is that fit compared to this? So we thought we'd just go through some of the most popular Hoka shoes that we carry here at RUNMOORE and talk about the different fits so when you're sitting at home can make a better, more informed decision on what shoe might work best for you. So I thought the best way to do this was sort of go from the most narrow and maybe the shortest running shoe to shoes that kind of get bigger and wider as we go. And hopefully that will help you figure out what size works for you. So for us in our shop, we carry a lot of Hoka shoes, but obviously we've been a Hoka dealer now for 10 years. But in that time, they went from this big of a brand to this big of a brand. So they have a lot of shoes that we don't carry here, but we carry pretty much all the big boy models here at the shop. So we're just gonna kind of focus on the big model shoes that we carry here at RUNMOORE. And we're gonna start things off with the brand new Mach 6, this nice lightweight everyday performance trainer. To us at the shop, this shoe fits probably the narrowest. I mean, even aesthetically, obviously this is a women's shoe, this is a small women's shoe, but it runs short, it runs a little tight, not in a bad way. Just aesthetically, you can tell it runs a little narrower than some of the other models that we get into, but if you're looking for something that's a little more snug, this is gonna be it. And quite honestly, it's nice having such a wide range in widths because we have people that come in here that have heard such wonderful, amazing things about Hoka, but a lot of their shoes just look ridiculously large on people's feet. So it's nice knowing that you have a nice range of widths and sizes and such, and this shoe for us runs the most narrow. Moving up the food chain a little bit is the brand new Arahi 7. This spectacular upper fits just a little bit wider. This is an everyday trainer with some light stability to it. So good for a little bit of medial support, a little bit of lateral support if you're a supinator, but it has a nice enough width to it. And again, I'm somebody who sort of runs between the cusp of a standard and a wide. In previous Arahis, I have gone too wide, but this standard fit me well. But again, we're just getting a little bit wider as we're going through this. Nice everyday trainer, a pinch wider. If you're somebody who runs pretty true, you should feel pretty true on your sizing on the Arahi. Now we're gonna move up to the Clifton. This is sort of the companion shoe to the Arahi, so we have our stable guy and our neutral guy in that mid-cushion category. Interestingly enough, I always find that we find people that have a wider foot tend to need a little more stability. So interestingly enough, while this shoe provides more stability in the Arahi, the Clifton actually to me runs just a pinch wider. Not a ton, just a pinch wider. I find the upper's a little more poofy. It just fits a little bit wider. And this is one of those shoes that every now and again, we do have to size people down because it does run just a pinch wide and a pinch long compared to the Arahi, for example. So this was actually a really fun exercise here at the shop. And you know, a lot of times when I'm doing these videos, especially comparison videos, I might reach out to some of my staff to get their own ideas. And pretty much we were universal across all of them, except for the difference between the Bondi and the Clifton. And by the way, yes, I'm ride or die with Bondi. If you're a Bondi person, yeah. So we found the Bondi and the Clifton to run pretty close. This was the only shoe from our comparison that people were kind of back and forth between. I personally think the Clifton runs a little bit wider, but I was outvoted. And for a lot of people, the Bondi runs a little bit wider. Interestingly enough, the Bondi is the only shoe that Hoka makes that is a true 4E shoe. So if you are somebody who really needs that width, the Bondi might be the one that you're looking for. And we just find this runs just a pinch wider than the Clifton. This obviously is Hoka's most cushion neutral trainer shoe. Comes in a bunch of fun colors. It's great for all day wear, for long mileage, for work. It's the Bondi. It's probably one of our top selling shoes that we have here in the store. For me personally though, I prefer the Gaviota, which is interesting enough, you can see how close these look aesthetically. This is Hoka's highest cushioning neutral shoe, and this is the most stable shoe that they make, the Gaviota. While the Bondi is the only one that comes in a 4E, we find that the Gaviota runs long and wide compared to every other shoe that Hoka makes. So I would say this is one of the few shoes that when we're fitting people, I usually will tell people, hey, this is gonna run maybe a pinch longer, so if we need to come back a half size, just be prepared. And I would say probably 19% of the time, we are pulling people back a half and they are sizing down. What's interesting too is the width on this. So just so by comparison, look how wide this is. This is a standard size. Look how nice and wide and round this toe box is. So the wide on this shoe to me feels even wider. So let's go back to me, the Bondi. The Bondi is the only 4E option Hoka makes. But we find that a Gaviota in a 2E fits every bit as wide as a Bondi in a 4E. So for us, for somebody who needs high cushion, high stability, maybe there's some pronation issues, We pull the Gaviota because it's their most stable shoe, but we have a lot of people who really need the stability of a Gaviota, but they can't fit it in because they need the super wide shoe. If you're on that cusp between a 2E and a 4E and you think your only option is a Hoka Bondi, fear no more. I would feel very confident saying, go ahead and try a 2E Bondi and it's gonna fit like a super wide 4E. If you're a woman, they go ahead and try a D and it's gonna fit like a 2E that you would find on a women's extra wide. Again, so for us, this is on the road side, the widest, longest shoe that Hoka makes. And for us, it's one of our favorites too, because it's a great long distance, long day, long walk shoe that provides great support, whether on the medial side or the lateral side. You're gonna be protected with this new H-frame stability platform that Hoka introduced in the new Gaviota. So that's our biggest and most popular 5 road shoes that we're carrying now from Hoka. And if you come back and visit us down the road, we're gonna do the same thing with the trail stuff, because honestly, it's really hard when you're looking at shoes to know how they all fit and feel. And again, I know these are both women's shoes, but these were the same size. This is the same size shoe. So it can be very confusing and challenging at sometimes to figure out which one works for you. And if you do have questions on sizing between Hokas or anything else, you can always pick up the phone and reach out to us here at RUNMOORE. There's a good chance you're gonna get me on the line. I'm happy to help try to guide you to the best shoe that works for you. And if you wanted to purchase any one of these fine Hoka shoes, there will have a link down below. And if you enter promo code RUNMORE, that's just one word with 2 O's in the more, we'll save 10% and we'll ship it out for free. And if you found this helpful, do me a favor and like and subscribe to our channel. It's certainly a fun, free way to help support our channel. And if you're in the greater Westminster, Maryland area, stop on by and say hello. Thanks a lot, happy running, and we'll see you around town.